Hey now, welcome to Fitzdog Radio. It's me, your gorgeous host, freshly shaved head, feeling tight, been working out like a nut. I've been good. I mean, I'm pretty solid about working out, but I mean I would say the last 5 months, I've been in the gym a good 4 days a week, working hard. Arms are feeling strong, but the neck is the problem. It's skinny, and I got a fucking turkey neck, and I don't know what to do. I guess I could do neck lifts, right? Put a weight on my head and just shake it back and forth. Maybe blow a guy. That'd do it. Do like 50 reps with my mouth. Jessimae Peluso is my guest today. She's fucking awesome. You're going to love the talk we had. I plan on having her back a lot. That was her second time on, but the first time was on a Zoom call, and today was in person. So this part is video, but unfortunately, I don't have video set up in my office right now, and I'm working on that. So there won't be video of her, but there is like a talk your way out of it video that we made that you can check out on my Instagram. Posting more on Instagram. I just posted last night. Me and... when I'm posting stuff, Kyle Spencer, I got to give a shout out to, has been, if you've noticed, my posters for my gigs have been much more professional and beautiful and creative lately, and Kyle's been doing a bunch for me, and I really appreciate that. But I posted last night from the Clippers game. I was with Mike Gibbons, my Sunday Papers co-host, and then Tom O'Neill, who's the guy that wrote Chaos, that I need to have back on again because people are always asking about him. So we went to the LA Clippers game. I'm friends with one of the coaches of the Clippers, and so he'll text me sometimes like, "Hey, we got some seats for tonight," and it's so awesome. And but you sit, they're amazing seats, and you're sitting with the wives and girlfriends of the players, and there are some beautiful, beautiful women. Kind of watching the game, but more updating their social media, that type of thing. But the Clippers lost to the Knicks, and the Knicks had just come off. They had just gone 1-9 in their previous 10 games, and somehow they beat the Clippers by 30 fucking points. It was brutal. It was brutal. I mean, the Clippers are missing a couple key players. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are out, and but Reggie Jackson, who's the point guard for the Clippers, is just the most fun player to watch in the NBA. He's just so smooth, so cool, does these like rocket no-look passes, and he was off last night though. He drove down the court. He deked out like 3 guys, and then he's only about, he can't be more than 6'2", and he goes up to slam dunk it, and he dunks it, and it hits the back of the rim and shoots about 20 feet in the air, and then the Knicks grabbed it, came back, and scored immediately. But it was fun. There's a player on the Knicks, this guy Miles McBride, and he's like 21. I looked him up online, and he's exactly my son's age. So weird to think that somebody my son's age is now. I guess he's a guard. I'm not sure, but he's a big rebounder. He goes up, and he's just fucking ripped. He's beautiful. He is a beautiful man. Just like big round shoulder. It sounds very gay podcast. I already talked about blowing a guy and how beautiful, but this guy kind of. He's really something. He's going to be big, I think, in the NBA. No masks last night, which was kind of weird because I've been in the Staples Center a lot in the last couple of years, and it's like everybody's wearing a mask. And last night, nobody. I didn't see anybody wearing a mask. It's over, folks. I think it's over. Can I say that? Mandates are being lifted. Numbers are down. Let's hope there's not like, I know that New Jersey's going to have some kind of a fucking, what do you call it? A variant. There's going to be a Jersey variant that's going to come out during spring break this year. Or maybe Fort Lauderdale, Florida will have a variant. Oh, God, let's fucking pray that doesn't happen. Although I haven't gotten it. I can't figure it out. I've talked about this. I don't know how a man who spends his life on the road telling jokes in front of crowds that are laughing in his direction and then getting on planes week after week have not fucking caught it. I almost feel like I feel powerful. I feel better than you if you got it. But I also feel left out. There's a little bit of FOMO going on. Like my grandkids someday are going to be like, Grandpa, tell us about what it was like getting COVID. And I'll be like, I didn't get it. But why, Grandpa? Were you a pussy? Did you not have a life? Why didn't you get the COVID? So maybe I'll get it. I'm out there. We'll see. I got some dates coming up. Should I announce them now? I usually say them later, but I'll say where I'm coming now. I got dates coming up. Big St. Patrick's Day show. If you live in LA, March 17th, we got Jeffrey Ross. We got Andrew Santino. We got Andy Letterman. We got Owen Smith, plus a couple surprises. It's going to sell out. Get your tickets right away. Also, April 8th through the 10th, I will be in La Jolla at the Comedy Store. Spokane Comedy Club, April 14th through 16th. Then I will be in New Orleans at the Howlin' Wolf, April 21st. Lafayette, Louisiana on April 22nd. Plainville, Mass. Just announced. I'm doing a casino in Plainville, Massachusetts on April 23rd. Denver Comedy Works, April 28th through the 30th. And Tacoma Comedy Club, May 19th through 21. All those tickets are available at the website, Fitzdog.com. Get your tickets. Come on out and see some live comedy. Let's celebrate that it's over. I just got back from Baltimore at the Magooby's House of Comedy or something. It's a great club. Fucking good people. Well set up. It's set up like it was set up for a dinner theater originally. So it's got like stepped up seating, raised seating. And some people came out. Some characters came out. I'm not going to lie to you. There is something going on in Baltimore. It is fucking crazy. And I got there, and before I went on stage, they're like, yeah, last weekend Chris Titus was here, and he said something, and I think it was bashing Trump, and then somebody in the audience screamed back at him, and then a fight started out between two couples. There was a man and a woman versus a man and a woman, which it doesn't get any better than that. And so they're fighting each other. And I think other people I heard like Titus left the stage and was involved, and it spilled into the lobby. And like they don't really have bouncers there. So like all the waitresses like rounded up these fighting couples and pushed them outside. It was and they're like, yeah, and now you're on. And I go up, and the first night there was this couple that was clearly both on the spectrum. He goes to Medieval Manor. She works at a Medieval Manor place, and they kept insisting they weren't dating, but you couldn't imagine these two were not more perfect for each other. Like not even heckling, but just talking as if they were the ones that were on stage. It was crazy, and I couldn't throw them out because they were kind of charming. There was a guy who had a shaved head, a thick neck, not like mine. He had a nice thick neck, tough fucking looking dude. And I said, what do you do? And he says, I invest in people. And I said, like you loan them money on the street? And he goes, exactly. And I go, and then you break your legs if they don't pay you back? And he's like, that's pretty much it. And he bought a bunch of pins after. He bought like 7 pins after the show, which was very cool. He had a big wad of cash on him. I should have borrowed some, come to think of it. There was, who else? There was a woman, Joanne. I don't know if it is the Joanne who writes into our show, Sunday Papers, who's a big fan of ours. She says she loves us. But this Joanne came out with a giant poster board with Fitzdog Radio written on it, and Take It Eesh, and Hey Now, and like a bunch of stuff from the show was on the poster board, and she held it up, and she gave me a big hug after the show. She was very sweet. I took a picture with her. I should post that on Instagram, too. I'm going to do more Instagram posting, I decided. It's fun. I love getting the feedback. Like that picture of me and Mike at the basketball game last night got like tons of comments and people shitting on us, which I think is funny. To a point, people. To a point. What else? There was, and then a guy offered me, he gave me a baggie after the show on Thursday night. And he goes, here you go. This is some LSD. And I was like, well, that's usually people just ask for a selfie, but that's very nice. Thank you. And I was not convinced that I should take LSD from a stranger in Baltimore. And so I gave it to another comedian on the show who took it the next afternoon and came to the show tripping balls and became convinced that his brain was too small before he went on stage. And he had an interesting set. I watched his set. It was a little different than it normally would be. Who came down? A couple people came down to the show. Why am I forgetting his name? Anyway, good times. What else? I'm still reading that book, Antkind, the Charlie Kaufman novel, which I'm suggesting you read. And if people are interested, we can start a book club and do like a Zoom call every couple weeks. I'd be interested in sharing this book with people. Let me know if you're interested. Fitzdog@gmail.com. It's Charlie Kaufman. You got to understand, like, the movies he wrote, and also he was on that Dana Carvey show that was on ABC, short-lived, I think. I think it was on ABC. But the writing staff was insane. Charlie Kaufman was the staff writer with Robert Smigel, Louis C.K., Dino Stamatopoulos, Greg Daniels, Stephen Colbert, Steve Carell. It was insane. And it got canceled, which just goes to show you how insane the networks are. How does that show with Dana Carvey, who's insanely talented, how does that get canceled? Explain that to me. And explain how anybody can ever try to do another sketch show if that can't be successful. How many successful sketch shows have there been in history? SNL has been going on for 85, 95, 2005, 2015, 47 years, I think. Saturday Night Live has been on. Mad TV had a good run. They were on for, 10 or 15 years. And then that's kind of it. Kids in the Hall was great. Mr. Show was a few seasons. If you go back to the 70s, you had like Carol Burnett was great. Who else did a sketch show? Well, obviously, I think Jackie Gleason had a sketch show. There was Your Show of Shows, but that's going back to the 50s. It's very hard to do a sketch show. I wrote on one for Cedric the Entertainer on Fox, and you want to talk about talent. That guy is just he would bust out new characters every week that were insane, and he would do a great monologue. He would do a dance number. Super talented guy. Canceled after, was it 2 seasons? I think it was 2 seasons. So, what else? I got a text from, I mentioned on the podcast last week. I don't know if I told the story of asking out a girl when I was in like 7th grade, and that she said no to me and how crushing it was. And it kind of like scared me away from asking girls out again for like a decade. Anyway, so somebody sent her the podcast and my phone number, and she texted me which was very sweet. It was so nice to hear from her. I hadn't talked to her in 40 years, and so we're catching up over text. But she apologized for turning me down, which, reparations, right? Reparations. That's all I need. Just an apology. Changes everything. So, yeah, I'll keep you posted on her update. But she sounds like a very nice person. She was nice then. I got to imagine she's still nice. Do we talk about Ukraine? Do we want to talk about Ukraine? I mean, I don't know. No, let's not. Let's not do it. Let's do some letters. Letters to me. There's a guy named Joe Banks who wrote in. He says, I've heard every podcast of Fitzdog and Sunday Papers. I'm not a comedian, but I love comedy, and you are the best. Everyone knows it. Thank you, Joe Banks. Came across a germ of an idea for a joke I wanted to gift you. Normally when I hear that, my skin starts to tighten up, and my breath goes short, and my eyes dry out, and I get a lump in my throat, and I shrink, and my arms cross. Because I don't know if it's going to be good or not. But Joe Banks sent me kind of a funny idea. He said, I just started a new job today after being out of work for a while. And before I headed into the office, I made sure to double check the mirror to make sure I was groomed. Well, I spent the first half of the day in the office and then took a bathroom break. First thing I noticed was how amazing the lighting was in the bathroom. Next thing I noticed was a long gray hair growing out of my neck, about 1 1/8 inch thick. I was mortified. How did I miss it? Because it was gray. A couple years ago, I couldn't miss it. It would have been black. Next thing I thought was about how my wife used to notice these little embarrassments before they could become public. She's not only stopped paying attention to me, she stopped looking at me altogether. Whatever you do with it, I'm sure you can make it funnier than anything I can think of. Love you. Well, I can tell you this. I remember getting my first set of glasses, and this is probably 10 years ago. And it's a shitload of money. You think that, there's all these add-ons. There's the eye test. There's the dilation of the pupil exam is extra. And then if you get transitional lenses, then if you get progressive lenses, so anyway, the glass ended up costing like $600. I walk in the front door, and the first thing I notice, is that my wife has sprouted her first chin whisker. And I was like, thank God I got these glasses. I would have missed that entirely. I mean, maybe maybe our eyes are not supposed to stay good. Maybe our hearing and our vision goes away for a reason, so that you'll stay married. I'm kidding. I joke. So I got, I got a buzzer I got from Ross Dress for Less. I buzz the ear hairs. The nose hairs probably need a little work right now. Gary Pollitt said, this is under overheards. These are a couple of overheards. Gary Pollitt said, I work at a university and we have to wear masks. And I heard a teacher say to another in the department, quote, teaching with a mask is like trying to get a girl pregnant while wearing a condom. That's good talk. I always wanted to be in those teachers' rooms in school. Remember there was always a teacher's lounge where the teachers would go and you just pictured I pictured a mini bar and a pinball machine and I pictured them all I don't know, having fun, joking around, shitting on us. I always wanted to go in the teacher's lounge. I would imagine they would say things like that, like witty, mature things, but shitting on the kids. Bob Eckstein, who's my friend, who writes cartoons for The New Yorker. As a matter of fact, one is on the wall. I'll show you right now. This is a comic that he did for The New Yorker, and then he framed it and sent it to me, and it's on my wall. Here it is.
Can you see it? There you go. It says, It's an agent. If you're listening instead of watching, it's an agent talking to his client.
And the client goes, the agent goes, Jake, opinions are like podcasts. Everyone has one. So anyway, so Bob writes in and says, woman speed walking past me, speaking on her Bluetooth, upset. Quote, Steve Jobs has ruined my love life again. What does that mean? Is there a new app? Is there an app that has maybe distracted her boyfriend? Maybe I don't know. I don't know what that one means. But anyway, I want to talk to you guys, as I do, about mental health. This show is a lot about that, and I get a lot of feedback from people that have been helped by BetterHelp. The podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. They help you. It's like relationships take work, and a lot of us we will help our loved one as much as we can. But how often do we give ourselves that same kind of treatment? Do you take care of yourself? Do you invest in yourself? Do you think about how you will be a better partner, a better parent, a better employee, a better friend by going in and doing some self-care? So this month, BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to take care of the most important relationship, the one you have with yourself. This is just like hitting the gym or getting a haircut or whatever else. You go in and you talk to somebody who is matched up with you based on a questionnaire you fill out, so they're perfect for you. And if they're not, you change it up. They have no problems with you switching therapists if it doesn't work out. It's way cheaper than regular in-person therapy, and it's much more affordable. I just said that. Give it a try. See why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Fitzdog radio listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Fitzdog. That's BetterHelp.com/Fitzdog. Do it. You will love it. Here's what else you're going to love. Life insurance. It makes a huge difference in your life. I have had it when I first had kids. I took out a policy. It was a term life policy. It actually expires in about 6 months because my kids are now in college, and I no longer have to worry about dying and leaving them starving at home. But for the last 20 years, I have enjoyed the peace of mind that you get when you find a good policy. And good policies are not there. It's confusing. You need a little bit of help. That's where BetterHelp comes in. It's a one-stop shop to find out and buy the insurance you need. Head to PolicyGenius.com and answer a few questions. In minutes, you can compare personalized quotes from top companies to find your lowest price. You could save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. The team of licensed experts at Policy Genius will help you understand your options and apply for the policy you choose. They work for you, not the insurance companies. You can trust them to offer unbiased help and advocate for you at every step until you're covered. So they don't add extra fees. They don't sell your info to third parties. Policy Genius has thousands of 5-star ratings on Google and Trustpilot. Policy Genius has options that offer coverage in as little as a week. Avoid unnecessary medical exams. They have helped over 30 million people shop for insurance and placed over $120 billion in coverage. Head to PolicyGenius.com to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. Okay, now let's get to it. This is my new close friend. I'm making her a close friend, I've decided. She lives in my neighborhood in Venice, like pretty close to me, we found out. So she's coming over for dinner, meet the wife, and here is my chat with her. Please enjoy Jessimae Peluso. Hey now.
You're a rock star.
I'm kind of a rock star. That's what I feel like when I start the podcast each time.
Do you?
Yeah, because it's like, I always picture like Howard Stern at his console and he's higher than you and everybody's feeding him. He's got his screen where they're writing jokes for him and he's got the callers being piped in and the producers are giving him information and Robin is laughing at everything. And then I kind of picture myself in that same scenario, even though it's just me and some fucking just tatted up, baked fucking neighbor, apparently.
I'm your neighbor and I'm in my workout gear.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you recorded or not. I'm like, I'm just going to guess. I'm just going to stay in my comfortable clothing is what I'm going to do.
Did you work out or do you dress like somebody who works out?
I actually do work out, but my outfits have to be cute because these bitches really step up the competition game in this town.
Yeah.
You can't just fucking frump. You can't frump in LA.
No.
Not
there's
if
no
you're
frumping.
like on a dad snatching tour like I am.
Yeah.
You can't. You have to
Dad
like
snatching tour.
I am out here to get your dads. I call them rats, rich and thick singles.
What does thick mean?
Thick, like girth.
You like that?
Yeah, but not obese.
Yeah.
Let me clarify.
Like a bear, like a gay guy would like a bear.
Yeah. Yes. Like Momoa. Thick.
Yeah.
But still, and I used to be like, it's just about love and it's about the individual. Fuck that. I want rich and thick.
Yeah.
And it's not rich because I want your money.
Uh-huh.
I just want you to have your own.
You don't want them to want your money.
Yeah. And I don't
Yeah.
want to I've done that in the past where I'm funding somebody's shitty life.
Yeah.
It's like at least
Have you done that?
Well, a little bit to a certain degree.
Who was the guy?
Just an unnameable, someone who needed to be fixed.
Chris D'Elia?
And he's doing well. He owes me $6 and I will not relent.
Who owes you money? I always like to ask people that on the
People
podcast.
owe me money.
Tell me who owes you money.
My ex owes me money.
Really?
Yeah. A couple of my exes, almost all my exes owe me
No
money.
shit. That's so Italian.
Yeah,
You're
it's
such
so
an Italian. Girl.
It's
Yeah.
so Italian. Like, take it. It's okay.
Yeah.
You'll pay me back.
Right.
I won't get it in writing.
Yeah.
Because we're in love. Love
What
is
could go wrong?
expensive.
Yeah.
It's really expensive. But now I'm like, that's it. No more Mrs. Nice Girl.
Mm-hmm.
No more of that.
Yeah.
So I'm out here just in my cute outfits after I do squats, and you better have a secure relationship.
Yeah.
Your relationship better be secure.
I think it's hard in LA for women. That's what I hear, that because guys are kind of here for themselves, for their
Yeah.
career. They're not really into relationships as much because it's a lot of like,
This isn't a town where you don't date in LA.
you don't put down roots in any way.
You can't. It's so difficult to do. So anyone who has that in this town like you, it's such a rare thing. But there are a lot of families here. But I think if you come here like I have, where I'm 39 and I've never been married, never have children, never have had kids. Hey guys.
Hey now.
It's unabashed. I feel like it's a little difficult for someone like me, but
But you're hot.
I'm so cute.
Yeah.
I'm really cute.
Yeah, you
but
know
that's what I'm
that.
saying. Like in this town, people like me are a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. There's
yeah,
cute
but
girls
not
everywhere.
girls that have a presence. There's
You
plenty
hear that,
of cute,
guys?
But yeah, you've got a presence. A lot of girls, they can't be funny. They can't assert themselves. They don't have any style.
That's true.
They're like little lemmings. They all dress exactly like Kim Kardashian.
They do, and they're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
everything trails off
Yeah.
into some. That's what all the girls sound like. That is true. So let people know. Do you know Brad Pitt?
I don't.
Okay, well you must have a friend. There's got to be a 6 degrees of Kevin Bakes in your life. Somehow.
Oh, I got a guy for you.
Who?
I got a guy for
Who?
you.
Okay, how old is he?
He's 48.
Okay, has he been married?
Nope.
All right.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's for me. I feel like if somebody's been married and has had a kid, there's a humbleness that comes to that, and there's also hopefully a place for their ego to be checked.
Right.
Because
they've been in second place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They've had to think for somebody other than themselves.
Yeah.
And you've got 3 mouths that are waiting for food and love in your house.
Dude, I think about that sometimes when I have like 2 weeks in a row off and I'm sitting home. I think about the fact that I got a daughter up in Northern California. I got a son in Chicago. I got a wife here, and I'm paying for 3 different apartments.
Wow.
A house and 2
Wait,
apartments.
you have other kids from another marriage?
No, I'm just saying they're in college.
Are they already?
Yeah, they're in fucking college.
God, and I'm looking at this. I didn't even pay attention. That photo's
my
older.
daughter now.
Wow.
That's the class picture from senior year.
You got a lot of people to pay
last
for.
year. It's a lot. It's like, and you're paying for their health insurance. You're paying for their car. They both have cars. I'm paying for the car insurance.
You're a good dad.
Oh, it's a lot.
You're
It's
a good dad.
I love it.
That's cute. Do you do the AAA too?
Yeah, they have AAA, of course.
My dad was always like, make sure you got to keep your AAA up. He was obsessed with AAA.
AAA is the last great institution in America.
Tell me it
fucking
isn't.
Works.
It's such a simple, wonderful, and let me tell you, their customer service is amazing.
Amazing.
They
and
really
you can
are.
Text. You can do it through text. You can do it through voice.
Yep, and they show up.
They come sooner than they say they're going to come.
Yes, they do.
They always say 40 minutes. They come in 15.
And they, honestly respond so fast, and it's not that expensive.
It's not expensive at all. I think it's $100 a year, and you get up to 3 or 4 different service visits.
I just call them sometimes just to see if the guy's going to be cute. Shows up.
Have you ever hooked up with a AAA guy?
No, but it's a cute thing. I think it's a vibe for sure.
They're capable.
Yeah. Oh my God, this guy came with the biggest rig. I ran over a nail, and he came with this huge ass car, and just the way he handled everything, I was like, damn.
With his hands, right?
Yeah, old school.
Yeah.
I love an old school dude like that. But okay, tell me more about this 48-year-old.
All right, so
is he in the industry?
He's a commercial actor.
Okay.
He acts in commercials. He also does some stand-up comedy. Not a ton. No, it's like he does a show every other week at West Side Comedy Theater, and that's pretty much all he does.
Okay, I must know him.
His name is Dennis Gubbins. I don't know if you know him.
Now I gotta Google
him up. He's a redhead. I don't know if that works against him.
Well, if we procreate, hopefully that gene just skips us, but that's okay.
Doesn't.
There's some cute
The redhead gene fucking bumps its way to the front of the line.
No, it's cute.
It's aggressive.
I like redheads.
Yeah.
Dennis Gubbins?
Yeah.
Is that even a real name?
It's Irish. As a matter of fact...
I know Dennis. How do
you
I know Dennis?
You might know him from the West Side. Do you go to the West Side Comedy Theater?
I do, yeah.
You might know him from there.
He's a burly guy.
Yes, he's exactly what you described. Yes, he's hilarious.
Look at that pose.
Yeah, he's kidding.
You know who I have a real crush on, and it's...
Well, what's your response to that?
He's okay. I mean, he's cute. You're
not that into
No, he doesn't make my liver quiver, unfortunately. Right. The liver has to quiver.
Yeah.
There's got to be that intangible chemistry.
Yeah.
That has to be there.
I hear you.
Whether it fades or not down the road, that's irrelevant.
Start with it.
You got to start with that. It's like the main ingredient in love, I think, is having that.
Sometimes, do you know that I've been with my wife for 25 years, married 22?
I don't know how you got her to say yes, because she's a fox.
I believe. Look at her over here.
She's gorgeous. How did you get that? Wow. She's like a model.
I don't know. I met her, and the second I met her, I talked to her for 20 minutes, and I said to her friend who introduced us, I said, I'm going to marry your friend someday. We were at the Friars Club in New York.
How did you know that? What was it about her?
Her energy. She was just like the most kind, like I said, a presence. She had a presence that she grew up in New York City. She's seen it all. She's done it all. But she's also like fucking listens in the moment. I've never introduced her to somebody in my life where they didn't fall in love with her and be like, ask about her every time I see them after
That's awesome. She just looks like it in this photograph. She's absolutely beautiful.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, that's awesome that you have that. That's like, you think about the span of a lifetime. And if you're lucky enough to get 2 of those, one is, it's amazing and you lock it down and it works. Sometimes things don't work out, you know? And to be able even to have something like that occur again in your life, that's miraculous, because a lot of people don't get that.
No.
They don't get those opportunities. They don't meet the people. I think that, the fact that it's just the right place and the right time.
Yeah.
How long you guys been married?
It'll be 23 years this summer.
Wow.
And, but I knew the second, and then I had always cheated on my girlfriends.
Of course.
And I said,
you're a male comic.
Yeah. And I was like,
okay.
And I said, I can't do that to this woman. I never thought I'd get married. And I said, if I'm going to get married, I got to know that I'm not going to cheat on her. So we dated for 3 years, and I wanted to ask her to marry me immediately.
Oh my God.
But I waited 3 years to make sure that I didn't. And sure enough, after we started dating, I booked a gig where I was hosting a game show on MTV. And I'm doing...
What?
It was called Idiot Savants.
I don't know if I remember that.
It was funny. It was like based on each character, each player had a savant category that they knew a lot about, like
Yeah.
Star Trek or Harry Potter.
Yep.
And then you'd ask them deep questions about that one topic.
That's a good idea.
And so needless to say, I'm doing like 30 college shows a year, and everyone has chicks that.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm only 28.
You go to Tempe, Arizona.
And it was crazy.
Those
and
girls,
I'm saying no to that week after week, and that's when I knew I could do it. I knew I could.
That's very manly of you. You manned up.
I manned up.
You have to do that. I think that most people just get into a relationship or get married or whatever it is, and they think it's going to be the thing that saves them. And you got to do that on your own.
No, you got to work hard.
You got to work hard on your own. You got
Yeah.
to save yourself on your own.
I just gave her. I was just away for a week, and I came home and I gave her a hug this morning that lasted like 3 minutes. And during it, she said, "What if you stopped caring about me?" And I said, "What if you stopped caring?" I go, "If either one of us was not into it anymore, it would fall apart. Both people have to feel the way we feel right now."
And that takes work.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of work. I think it takes more individual work than anything.
Yeah.
And a willingness to, the compromise.
Yeah.
You just look at these people who end up alone, and you got to wonder, like, was that a choice or did something break down? Because I think the willingness to compromise is a huge aspect of it. And some people just lose that after being single for so long.
I think especially as you get older, you get more rigid because you're so used to getting exactly what you want in your own life that you can't share it anymore. But what's the closest you ever got to that one of those two people that you talk about?
Let's see. Andy Smith when I was like 12. No.
Do you Google him now?
I did. Ruh-roh. I just dodged a bullet. I'm just kidding. I love you, Andy. I don't know if you're listening. I hope you're okay and conscious.
You may not be over you. Did you guys date?
We were like, it was like puppy love.
Yeah.
We were in love as kids. Are you kidding me? He was like the first love of my life. Actually, the first love of my life was this kid. Oh God, I can't remember his name. He was a twin. And
he was a twin?
He was a twin.
How did you know which one you liked?
I'm not sure. Identical? It was always the same one.
Were they identical?
Oh, you could barely tell them apart.
No shit.
They were badasses. They were like smoking cigarettes in grade school.
Wow.
They were like cutting class, hanging out by the playground.
Syracuse, New York?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I was so in love with one of them.
Wow.
And then I started dating their best friend. And we were dating. You're like a kid.
Did you kiss him?
Yeah, we kissed.
Yeah.
That was it. But I can't imagine it was any good. It was more like two mouths looking for a scrap of food in the other mouth.
I hate two birds.
Yeah, it was just so bad.
Right. Yeah.
But I'll never forget, I started dating this other kid, and he called my house one night, and my mom answered the phone, and she's like talking, and then she hangs up, and I come down the stairs, and I was like, "Who was it?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know, honey. It was Kevin." And I was like, "What? What did he say?" And she's like, "He said you're cut. Dinner's ready." And I was like,
"You're cut?"
That's what we used to say to break up.
No.
He told my mom. She's like, "Dinner's ready." I'm like, I will never be the same.
You got cut.
I got cut right before dinner.
Oh, shit.
So brutal. That was the worst spaghetti of my life.
I love that fucking phrase, though.
Yeah, you got cut. Tell her she's cut.
Because it hurts.
Yeah, it does fucking hurt.
It slices and it bleeds.
It does.
It stings.
It should. It really should. But like as an adult, my last one I thought was like the closest. He checked a lot of boxes for me, but I think
the liver quivered.
The liver quivered for sure, and he was a regular guy, but there was just too much. He had too many unturned rocks in his life that he had to fix.
Yeah.
And get in order.
How old was he?
Older than me. Not that much older, like maybe 5 years older than me. He already had a kid. So that was the complicated thing.
Yeah, of course.
He was a builder.
Nice.
Yeah, I just like that. There's something
you're
about
Italian.
Yeah,
you're
I
like
know.
men that work with their hands that belong to unions, labor unions.
Yeah, that say D's and does. I like those D's and does guys.
Yeah.
It's just like something about it. But other than him, there's been a couple that I've really connected with, but they also weren't the most healthy relationships. So I don't really count those.
Yeah.
I think the greatest, my great love hasn't happened yet.
What do you think?
And it'll probably be Brad Pitt.
I thought that you were into John Stamos.
He's married. He has a life. I don't break up homes.
I thought you were a dad snatcher.
Yeah, but that's a dad who's already divorced. You didn't let me finish.
Got it.
It's a dad who's already divorced.
Uh-huh.
You know, dads aren't always married.
Right.
But he has to be a rat. That's key.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
wait, so if I were to talk to a guy like maybe this builder or one of these other guys that you've dated that maybe wanted to take it to the next level, what would you say they would say was broken about you that needed to get fixed? What a fucking good question that was.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
really
such
good question. Did you steal that
podcaster.
from Howard?
No, Howard always prefaces it with, now tell me honestly. Now,
You know, that's a really good question. Probably my ADD. I don't know if you can fix that.
unmedicated ADD?
Oh yeah, I can't. The idea of medication freaks me out.
As a fucking thriving pothead, you say that.
Right, and that's like,
ADD, pot's the worst thing for ADD.
you know, it depends on the pot, time of day, and what I've done, because the weed can really have a narrowing focal effect for me.
Yeah, I can see
And
that.
I don't, like this past weekend I was in Palm Springs and I did shrooms and edibles and I was zooted to the moon.
Nice.
Zootsie Magootsies shot off.
Yeah.
And that was fun. And, you know, I knew I didn't really have to do anything. There wasn't anything required
You weren't
of
doing
me.
stand-up? You were just hanging out in the desert?
Yeah, just for like a night in the desert with my friends. And
Nice.
so whenever I smoke, it's never a lot.
Yeah.
It's just enough to like, I always say I don't smoke to get high. I smoke to like get right. Because my brain's already like hyperactive and
Yeah.
I function at a very high level. So at a high level, when I actually do smoke, I think it regulates me a little.
Yeah, I can see that.
But-
I think look at our society. Look at most societies. We self-medicate, whether
we
it's
self-medicate with
alcohol or
everything.
pot.
Food.
Isn't it weird that in the human experience, we are dealt these cards and we have this brain and these juices that flow through us that aren't right, that you
Yeah.
have to make yourself right by putting chemicals into your body to affect your brain to straighten it out.
It is really, really wild, the amount of stuff that people need, the amount of like accoutrements to get yourself at somewhat of a level place.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it, like, especially dealings with the brain, I think a lot of our problems arise from our diets, and not just like the food diets, but like our life diets and what we're exposing ourselves to, the people we're exposing ourselves to, what we've experienced. Like, there's so many factors that go into altering your brain chemistry that I think once you start to unpack all of that, and even incorporating psilocybin into that, I microdose often.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in that.
Well, because I just really wanted to avoid a pharmaceutical.
Well, you know, the more and more I read about, and I read that book by Michael Pollan, Changing Your Mind. Have you heard of that book?
No.
He's a guy that Rogan's had on a bunch of times. He's a very well-respected nutritionist.
I have that book.
He's a doctor. You probably do.
I think I do in my pile of my
I'll
books.
lend it to you if you don't have it.
Yeah.
But he basically spends a year going through every psychotropic. He does LSD, he does mushrooms, he does Molly,
I know what you're talking about now.
He does ketamine.
Is he the Colombian professor? No, that's somebody else.
He's not Colombian,
No.
but he is probably a professor
From
somewhere.
Colombia, I mean.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I gotta look. What's his name?
Michael Pollan.
I think this might be the guy that was
But-
just looking at. And so he actually... Oh, this is somebody
he
else.
does the experience, but he gets guided through each one. Like, you know how when you take,
Wow.
what's the one you take in Peru?
Ayahuasca?
Like when you take ayahuasca, you know how you get a guide?
Yeah.
He got guided through each of these different drugs. And he said it's all about set and setting.
Yes.
And so, but he talks about, and I know you just dealt with this with losing your mother and your father in the last like few years,
Yeah.
right? Both of them.
It was a wham bam. See you later, ma'am.
And psilocybin, he says that's the number one thing it helps you with is accepting death.
Yeah. And I don't go deep into it. I haven't gone deep into it. I haven't had complete trips, like real deep trips where I'm seeing, you know, people say like I've never done ayahuasca. That's something I want to do. But I also have wanted to, like I was saying before, unpack unhealthy things that I was doing to sort of get myself some more clarity in like a, you know, on a base level before I go in to do anything deep like that, before I take like
Right.
the ayahuasca deep dive. But microdosing helped me through the grief for sure. That's when I started doing it, from losing my dad and then losing my mom. Meditation and microdosing.
Yeah.
I meditate every morning, first thing usually.
Oh, TM?
Yeah.
I do TM also.
Yeah, that's good. And I
Every
mix it
day.
up with one of the apps.
Nice.
Yeah.
Headspace?
I use Insight Timer. Insight Timer, I found a couple really cool people that I like to follow that I need like music. I was following like the voice one for a while where
Yeah.
they speak to you.
Yeah.
Glenn Harold has an amazing one. He's like, you are going to sleep, 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 sleep. And he's like
Nice.
all over your head. And
Yeah.
you're like, where are you, Glenn? But then I started using like the frequency, the music. And it kind of, when you put it on, if you were to listen to it, it doesn't really sound like regular music. It's more meant to grab those thoughts, and the way your brain sort of reaches out and doesn't allow you to focus, it sort of focuses all of that.
Yeah.
The beat and the way it's curated. So that's what I usually do, is that, and then a little microdose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helped definitely through.
How much do you take in a
grief.
microdose?
You know, I don't know the exact dosage, but I'm very sensitive.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take a lot for me to experience things on a deeper level.
Okay.
So if say you were, prescribed a dose, or someone told you to take this much, I would probably take a third of what you take.
That's a microdose, like a third.
Yeah.
Because I think they usually say like take like a gram.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So you take about a third of a gram.
Yeah.
And then you do it every like 4 days or so.
I do it like a couple times a week.
Yeah.
And then I'll also microdose with edibles.
Do you feel any sensory change when you take it, or is it just sort of blend into your whole being?
It depends. For me, I can feel affected, but not like where my feet aren't firmly planted on the ground.
Yeah.
It feels like a sunny, beautiful day.
Nice.
That's what it feels like
And how long does that last?
for the most of the day.
Wow.
For me.
Yeah.
And it rewires your brain chemistry.
Yeah.
It starts to, especially when you're not dependent on it, which I'm not, but it really starts to rewire your mind, and it kind of untangles all of that, the emotional tangle that you get from experiencing trauma and going through survival mode, which I think is the thing that sort of makes people alter their minds.
Survival mode makes you kind of tighten up,
Yeah.
and this lets you take a step back.
Yeah, this sort of like survival mode is this like wrapped up bag with all these locks and levers, and it's twisted, and every time you microdose or something like that, something just unwraps itself.
Yeah.
It's like a knot that's slowly becoming untangled. And then, then you are at a place where you're just in the present moment. You're not
Right.
thinking about the thing or worrying about something. There's like 3 states that people are always in. It's either a depression state, which is where you often think about what you don't have or missing something. Mm-hmm. It's the worry state where you're anticipating or stressing about what's yet to come. And then there's the now. And people fluctuate between those two. And the middle part is where the sweet spot is.
Eckhart Tolle.
Hell
Power of
yeah.
Now. Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
And our society's not built for the now.
Right.
Our society's medicating yesterday and stressing you out about tomorrow.
Advertising for tomorrow.
Exactly.
Telling you what you need to do and what you
Yes.
don't have and what you have to
Right.
get. Yeah.
It's no wonder that we are so far away from like our own individual nirvanas, and you can really reach that.
It is amazing. Like today, I'm going to go to the beach right after this.
That's
I got a
sweet.
bunch of friends. I got to introduce you to my friends in Venice because
Yeah, where are your
I've been here for
fucking
20
friends?
years and
I
I got a
can't-
tight group of friends.
We are neighbors.
I know.
That's
We're
freaking
like 2
crazy.
blocks from each other.
That is, and how have we never? How have we never seen each other?
And you-
do you walk at all?
I walk my dog 3 times a day.
What time do you walk your dog? I walk my dog
Around
till like
9,
7. Oh, okay.
around 2, and then around 10:30.
Oh, you're a good dog walker. You're a good dog dad.
But you know the walk streets off of I'm not going to say my street.
No,
but
don't say your street.
You're close to me, and I walk all through there.
Okay, I do too. We just miss each other by the time.
Wow.
That's so crazy.
Damn.
Can you imagine if we had ran into each other in the street
I
with our
know.
dogs?
I know.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Cal and I used to run into.
That's so
and then
funny.
Zach used to live in the neighborhood, and then Louis C.K. lived in the neighborhood for a long time.
He's back in New York now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else?
Yeah, are there any other like people we know? Any other comics that live in that area?
That we know now? No, I mean,
Who you want to like
Neil
put their
Brennan's over in Santa Monica. He's not too far.
could put their actual address on? You want to tell everybody where they live?
Yeah.
Their actual.
It's so easy for people to find out.
It really
anyway,
is.
You know?
And who's gonna come looking for us?
Hopefully
Who the
somebody,
fuck?
please, buy some merch.
Buy some merch. You should just set up a table.
But like we talk about being in the moment, but like my neighbors, like I really strongly believe in getting to know your neighbors. Like everywhere I've ever lived, I've been tight with people around because I don't want to get in a car and drive to fucking Los Feliz, which takes 45 minutes.
No, I don't.
And I don't do it. But if I know my neighbors, like today, there's like 7 of us going to the beach.
That's awesome.
Because it's a hot day, so we're all going to the beach. We play frisbee and we shoot the shit. People do take mushrooms. People do take edibles.
Oh yeah, your neighbors sound fucking great.
Yeah, we have poker nights. We have dinner nights. We have we play paddle tennis on Sundays. We play beach volleyball.
Damn, you guys are active.
Do you play volleyball?
I could.
All right,
I'm
come out on
athletic.
Sundays with us. And
Yeah,
play
heck
beach
yeah, that
volleyball.
would be
We
so
suck.
much fun.
We suck.
I'm terrible too.
And Dennis
But I
Govins
can
will yell
play.
at you if you suck.
Oh,
That's what he
Dennis!
does.
Oh my god, I would love to see him in a little Speedo. That body.
Our group is called the Shirts because we're the only guys on the beach playing volleyball with shirts on.
That's hilarious. Why you guys keep your shirts on? No one's proud of their body.
Nah, nobody.
It's all
feels
milky?
good. Yeah, it's a lot of milky.
Milky movement.
Yeah.
They will not be at Coachella this year.
No, there's no livers quivering when they watch our volleyball game. It's just sad.
Oh god, that's so freaking funny.
And everybody's high, so like nobody
that's
remembers
perfect.
the score. But and the rules are, in volleyball you can hit it 3 times. Mm-hmm. With us, you can hit it 4 times, once per game, and you can hit it once for infinity per game, which is as many times as you want. If you serve and it goes short, somebody on your team can push it over.
Okay.
You can kick it.
You guys got some very lenient rules.
Yeah, it's very lenient rules.
So people get aggressive with beach volleyball. It's like
Yeah,
you're not on an Olympic team.
I know.
Stop screaming at me.
Yeah.
Felicity. It's Sunday at 2.
Yeah, right.
Like, there's no trophy for this.
Yeah, right.
That's probably why I haven't played it, because it's a sport where people take it very
Dennis
seriously.
gets crazy. Dennis is the kind of he's a little. Well, what sports did you play growing up?
High school, let's see. I did lacrosse, basketball, softball, soccer.
No shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
I loved basketball. Basketball was my favorite.
Wow.
They used to let me, when I was on the JV team, the JV and the varsity games would be back to back. So in between there was this little space. And so I asked the principal if I could do shows and just like dance and be goofy. So in between the games, I didn't know I wanted to do stand-up, but in between the games, I would choreograph a dance and I would just be silly with everybody who was like practicing and shooting layups and getting ready for the next
Really?
game. Yeah.
That's
I
hilarious.
just knew I wanted an outlet. I didn't know what.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'll just dance. I'll just do like a fake cheerleading routine. And
Were there cheerleaders?
we didn't have any cheerleaders.
So you were the cheerleader
It was just
squad.
me. Yeah. I would bring like a boombox. People would be like, no one
What would
wanted
you
it.
play? What music?
No one wanted it.
Yeah.
Like tag team back again. Check like let's begin. MC Hammer.
Yeah.
Fucking New Kids on the Block.
Oh
anything that
my
was like pumping then.
God.
Yeah, it's so funny the things you forget. But I think that was like my first attempt at trying to do stand up,
Yeah.
or at least knowing I wanted to do something
And you
like that.
felt that energy. You felt that
Yeah.
like I'm putting myself out there, and there's something about stand up that is unsettling to people, and it makes them laugh. You're taking normal behavior and you're turning it upside down, and people are reacting to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And that dynamic, you found that.
Yeah, it was in a town where that wasn't really prevalent.
Yeah.
We don't come. Syracuse traditionally wasn't known for like a high cultural output.
Right.
We didn't really have like a huge arts and culture
But a lot of great actors have come
I
from
know,
Syracuse.
and a lot of great
the Baldwin
writers.
brothers, aren't the Baldwin brothers from there?
Yeah, isn't what's one of those famous? What's his name? Freaking, I think Blue's Clues dude is from there.
Oh, no. Much bigger than that.
Okay, wait.
Much bigger
Blue's
than
Clues
that.
is pretty big. Famous people from Syracuse. There's somebody big that I can't think of. Whoa, Tom Cruise is from Syracuse.
Yes.
Tom
exactly.
Felicia, Post Malone, even though he wants to deny it. What's up, cuz? Bobcat, hello.
Bobcat, that's right.
Yeah, he's got a salt potato tattooed on his arm. We're known for salt potatoes.
Salt potatoes?
Oh, they're the greatest. It's so simple. It's just you boil potatoes, you put salt in there, and it'll change your life.
How long did it take you to develop that? Salting a potato?
Yeah, we're known for it, okay? Yeah. Who else? Rob De Niro. His mom used to live on the north side.
Come on.
Hello.
Who's Rob De Niro?
Bob? You're joking.
Bob De Niro is from Little Italy in New York City.
Excuse me. He's from Syracuse, New York.
No, that's Robert De Niro Sr., his father.
Okay. Oh, that's right. His father and his mother live there.
Yeah, and then...
Jerry Stiller, he's in Brooklyn. There's somebody who, I forget what the cartoon was.
My roommate in college, I was roommates with the captain of the football team. His name was Kevin McCarthy. He was from Syracuse. And then I dated a girl from Manlius.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she must have had some money.
Oh, is that a rich town?
Did she have some money?
She must have, because I was traveling around. I took a year off after high school and I hitchhiked around Europe with a backpack.
Of course you did.
And I met up with her and her friend, and we were in Greece, and I just met up with them on a boat, and I used to play harmonica. There would be somebody with a guitar, and we were jamming, and then I made out with her, and then we hooked up, and we went from island to island, and they would go, would you be offended if we went topless? Because everyone's topless on the beaches in Greece. Yep. And I was like, fuck no. And they just whipped their ties, all these pictures of us and them naked. And yeah, it was
that's
romantic,
magical.
and it was magical. It was great.
That's a time to do that when you're young and just
17.
17?
Yeah.
That's when you can just be like reckless like that.
Yeah.
Because if you do that now as like a grown person, your family's going to be worried.
Yeah.
You know, if you're touring around
Although
Greece.
now my son did it, and he didn't take off a year. He went for like 6 weeks after senior year. But he went with like 6 or 7 friends, and
that's
it was very
awesome.
it was great, but it's not the same as going alone for 6 months.
No, I think that's a good move though after school, especially after high school, in that weird time where you're supposed to know exactly what you want to do with your life.
I didn't think I was going to go to college.
Did you go?
I did go.
Where did you go?
Boston University.
Oh shit.
Distinguished Alumni
Look, you're
Award
like
right
a doctor.
there.
This is like a off the beaten path chiropractor office.
The chiropractor that puts oils in your belly button and then checks out how much resistance you get from your arm.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
What did you study?
English and history.
Are you a history buff?
Yeah, huge history buff. Yeah.
I wish I knew more about it. I was never really into it. My dad loved history. He used to watch everything on the TV was always some black and white war film.
Yeah.
That was his favorite.
I just think right now what we're living through is going to be the history that they study. Let's assume the world calms down, that the pandemics don't continue, that people like Trump don't reemerge, that people like Putin don't invade docile countries, and that life gets normal. And in 50 years, they're going to look back on the 2020s and be like,
gosh.
What the fuck? You lived through that? We're going to tell our grandkids about living through,
And also, 9/11 and this
9/11
are
and this.
huge
Right.
things for society to reacclimate to after.
Yeah.
It's so hard. There's always that thing each generation does that the next generation looks back on. It's like, what were they thinking?
Yeah.
I always wonder what that's going to be for us. And I've asked this of my friends, and everyone seems to think it's going to be social media.
Yeah.
Like cigarettes in the restaurant, our equivalent is going to be social, teenagers having social media.
Right.
We don't know the ramifications of our behaviors.
I'll tell you one thing. TikTok trumps all the other social media platforms. It is so fucking addictive. My daughter mainlines TikTok. That's all she does.
It's
all
wild.
any teenager does, because it figures you out. It gets inside your head and it starts just dripping endorphins.
God.
Here's another one. Here's another one.
I can't. That's why I set up an account, and then I was on it for a day, and I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
This is not. I'm an analog baby.
Yeah.
I come from that era where we literally saw the change from analog to digital.
Right.
So I'm so glad that I have that reference to know what things were like and what it was like to have to work a little bit more to get something.
And where you read books. My kids don't read books. They don't have the
I love
patience.
books.
I love books.
It's my
I got a
having
book for
a
you.
book. What?
Do you know?
I got a book for you.
I got a book.
Hey, little girl. That's like if I was standing alone in my house and I just heard over my shoulder, I got a book for you. Like, God damn it, Fitzsimmons, how'd you get in again?
And it's a pop-up book with every page is a different penis that comes at your face.
It's everyone poops. Your dog is shit in my living room and you've left.
No, this book, it is by Charlie Kaufman, the writer-director. He wrote Being John Malkovich and what was that other one he wrote? Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Anyway, he wrote this book called Ant-Man. It's 700 pages, so it's pretty daunting. Ant-Man. It was recommended to me by Adam Egget from... Yeah, so he's in Austin now, and he called me up, and he's like, you got to fucking get this book, and I cannot put it down. It's insanely... brilliant.
Is it fiction?
It's fiction. It's like, did you ever read Confederacy of Dunces?
I haven't.
All right, we'll start with that.
Okay.
Start with that.
Okay, I'm gonna start with
That's
that.
the funniest book I've ever read. You'll
Okay.
laugh out loud the entire time.
I'll read that. I
And-
was rereading Old Man in the Sea.
Oh,
Like a little
yeah.
classic.
Yeah.
That it was also in my purse. And I just have to buy it again because now I know what happens, but his writing
Yeah.
is just it's so amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
It's like an art that's, not that it's lost, because I know a lot of great authors, and there still are a lot of great authors, but those classics, I'm going through a classics right now.
Yeah, you got to mix a Hemingway or a Steinbeck in. Like every 7 or 8 books, you got to throw a classic in.
You got to throw a classic in, and Animal Farm's a good one to get into right now.
Yeah.
Because it's very almost parallel with
Very
what's going
prescient.
on
Yeah.
over there right now.
Yeah.
It's so crazy that there's a fucking war happening.
It's a war that, it's so funny because the Russians didn't start well. They've got a fucking convoy that ran out of gas and they don't have any food. And everybody's like, oh, the Ukrainians, they're throwing fucking Molotov cocktails at them. Russia has 60 nuclear warheads. They have so many ballistic missiles. It's fucking insane. And the only reason they haven't bombed the shit out of Kyiv so far, and I'm saying Kyiv because that's the Ukrainian pronunciation.
Why is everyone saying...
Well, Kiev is the
Kiev.
Russian pronunciation. So
Yeah, you
if
gotta
wanna
say
If you
Kyiv.
want to be woke, you have to say Kyiv.
Okay, cool.
So the only reason they haven't leveled Kyiv is that they don't want the repercussions from the world.
Yeah,
so they're trying to gently go in, and Putin actually believes that the Ukraine is. I would say the Ukraine.
It's okay.
That
You're dad.
That,
The
Kids.
Facebook.
So I'm on the internet, and it's basically Putin believed that there really is a groundswell of love for Russia in Ukraine, and that they want to be invaded. And then he got there and he realized nobody wants them there. And so Plan
It's like a
B,
Hitler mentality.
like what?
It's like a Hitler mentality.
Yeah, it is. Right.
Like people love war.
Right.
Like
Or Manifest Destiny, where we
Right.
basically just, raped and pillaged our way across the country in Christ's name.
Yep.
But now is going to be the second stage of the war where they just, okay, all right, so you're not going to, we're going to fucking level you.
Do you think that that's what's going to happen?
Well, they did it in Syria. They did it with the Chechens. They're not afraid to bomb the shit out of places.
And I know Russia, just because excuse my own naiveness, I know Russia is the third exporter of oil in the world.
Yeah.
But it's not a huge economic power.
No, they're pretty much just oil.
It's just oil.
Yeah.
They haven't made anything that's been super useful or right?
No, and they got, now the international community has tightened up on them like they never imagined they would.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, I guess my point was if their main source is oil, I know obviously we're still reliant upon it, even though we're transferring over to somewhat of a green world. We're still very heavily reliant on fossil fuels or whatever, but why wouldn't we pinch them where it hurts?
Well, what's great is Germany there was this pipeline that they were starting to build, and it was like a $50 billion deal, and they scuttled it.
Wow.
Germany said no, and that's going to cripple them. But you've still got like China and India, which are the other big superpowers, and they get their oil from Russia. And so
they would have to pinch them.
And they have not. They're the only two nations that have not spoken out against Russia right now.
That's just so shady.
Yeah.
The world is so shady.
It is.
Oil is like, it's like there will be blood out there is what's going on.
Yep.
And it feels like, I was thinking today, I was outside like picking up my dog's poop and just like, oh, it's just such a beautiful day. And somewhere in many different countries, people are going through atrocities.
Right.
And it's so, I guess it turns into a thing where you start to think about that at a certain age.
Yeah.
Where your world becomes less revolved around your own personal needs, and you're more aware of, oh, there are other countries that are really suffering on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And you feel kind of helpless.
You do feel helpless unless you're, what's his name? Sean Penn just went over to Russia. Did you see that? He's got a fucking
I bet he doesn't even have a shirt.
Did you see this?
No.
He's got a helmet on, and he's in Russia.
No.
Yes, to help the people. He's making a documentary. No, he's in Ukraine. He's making a documentary about what's happening in Ukraine right now.
That's pretty ballsy.
He was. Look, you can shit on Sean Penn all you want, or you can shit on Angelina Jolie. They are fucking trying.
Yes, they get in there.
He went to New Orleans during the flood.
I do remember that.
And he was pulling people out of the water.
Oh my God.
And people want to sit back and people want to sit back and make fun of him. What did you do?
Yeah, you scratched your nuts while watching the Queen's Gambit, Gary. You didn't do shit.
Right.
And it's like someone sent me a picture of Steven Seagal. Someone said I don't know if it was like The Onion. I hope it was real. But like Steven Seagal was in like full army gear.
Was he with Putin?
No.
Because he's friends with Putin.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Seagal is friends with Putin.
Why does that not surprise me?
Because he's the greatest character ever developed in American cinema.
Is Putin just... I'm so scared to say this on an airwave. Is Putin just like a little boy? Is he a little scared boy?
No, not at all. He came up through the KGB. He's a fucking man.
So he's a missile.
He's a missile.
And he wants world
He's a
domination.
Phallic, yes, he's a giant phallus. And he wants to insert himself into every country. He wants the USSR back. He wants all the countries that have dissipated to come back together again.
I mean, that's just... That seems... And I don't know a lot about that whole, again, history and all of that, but that just seems completely impossible.
Of course,
to go backwards like that.
Yeah, you can't. You can't go back.
Especially with the way states and everything gets divvied up throughout history.
Yeah.
How do you go back to that?
I mean, it's like what you said before. It's like Hitler.
So he
wanted the German Empire to, because there was the I forget the name of the first country that he invaded, but it was originally part of Germany. And then he was the Rhineland, I guess it was called, and then he went in and took it back, and then he just wanted to reassemble what had been that block.
So I'm not wrong when I'm saying he does have like a Hitler vibe right now.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Like I know that much.
And what's scary is like, he's not following any kind of logic. Like his invasion
scary.
is illogical, which
that makes me worried.
Worried because of the nuclear option.
Well, because then it's just like the last thing you want is to have somebody who is like him, who's a little like a loose cannon with access to that.
Yeah.
Whereas it's just like, it's one thing if you get drunk and you go show up at your girlfriend's house and you're screaming in her front yard and you're throwing your beer bottles everywhere. But it's another thing if you're Putin and you're completely a loose cannon and you have that access.
Yeah.
But I thought that because of mutually assured destruction, that wouldn't be such a threat.
I mean, when the Cold War ended in like '89, that was pretty much it. And we have lessened the nuclear arsenal by 80% since 1989. Through mutually assured, through whatever that pact is, is it the SALT agreement or whatever? But Russia's still got more nukes than it's just us and them. We've got the most nukes.
Is there ever a place in the world, you think, or a time where nukes will be gone?
No.
They'll always be somewhere.
Yes, always. I mean, how are you going to get them out of North Korea? They're building them now. You've got 9 nations right now that have them. And there's a bunch that are on the edge of getting them. I mean, you just think about technology, how much easier it is to make things now than it was 20 years ago.
Probably can freaking print nukes in your garage.
Right, get one of those 3D printers.
You know who else is a history buff? I don't know if you know him or if you've had him on the podcast or have had any conversations with him, but Giannis Pappas.
I don't know.
He's an ex of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
we definitely had a real thing, but
okay.
He's so well versed in history and loves history.
Wow.
He talks a lot about like the world affairs and what's going on. And
is he sort of come from the right? Is he like
he's in the middle, kind of.
Is he a conspiracy theorist?
No, I think he's more of a realist. I think he just understands what is happening. He's very attuned to like the current climate.
Yeah.
But I forget what was going on. I was in Austin. I was doing Rogan, and something was happening in the news that was very unrested. I can't remember what it was, but something had occurred. Maybe it was something with China or something. And I said to him, whenever I'm thinking about the world or have a question, I'll hit him up. And I was just like, are we going to see a World War III? And he made such a good point. He's like, we're already in it. Like it's a quieter war that that's being fought right now. And it's more of like an infiltrated war in the sense that it's being done on our phones. Cyber within the banks. Yeah. Like the way everything is sort of shifting underneath our feet is what World War III essentially is. Like we're kind of in it right now.
It was only about maybe 3 months ago that Russia blew up a satellite in space, and they didn't. Anything you do in space, you're supposed to like clear it with all the other nations.
That sounds about right.
They just went
shoot a
in,
memo.
Just CC me on the exploding fucking satellite that you're about to do.
Hey, Russia, could you just maybe let us know next time?
Yeah, little heads up. Vlad,
bud. Can you let us know that you're going to be exploding something in outer space?
You're going to launch 1,000 projectiles randomly because everything in space is tracked so that if they hit each other, and now there's like 1,000 pieces there because they just blew something up. And it was kind of a signal that if push came to shove, they would, if they take out they could take out our fucking phones like that. What about my Sirius XM? What if I can't hear
I really love
Baba
the
Booey?
Shudder app. I'm a fan of Shudder, and if I can't get my horror movies, that's going to be a totes bummer. I try to stay more informed,
Yeah.
Where do you, here's a question, because I assume you read the news or watch the news.
A little bit.
What's your news source? What's your favorite place to get news? Because it's hard these days. I feel like everything's so convoluted.
I feel like The Guardian is a really good place because it's outside this country, it's the Guardian UK, and I think they've always got a really good step back on everything, a big overview, and amazing reporters. I think they probably have more reporters on the ground than any other news source, maybe the New York Times and the Guardian.
That's the other thing is like the quality of writing. There's been so many times I'm sure you've experienced where you'll read the headline and then you go and you read the body and you're like, those don't match.
Right.
Something doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
It's such a headline reading generation now, and everyone the news literally reports what is on people's iPhones. Like it's just a bunch of fake headlines and it gets circulated.
It's just clickbait. They're just trying to get you to, launch an ad on your phone.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you read?
Instagram.
Uh-huh.
No, I have. I bought the New York Times.
Oh, good.
So the New York Times.
Yeah.
And I'll read like their little daily.
That's great.
I listen to the daily.
I listen to the daily.
I like the daily.
Yeah.
And Up First. NPR.
Oh, good.
Those are like, there's like 40 minutes of news.
Is that your dog walking?
That's my dog walk. It's that, but if there's a new Smartless episode, I have to listen to it.
Is that with who's on
Bateman,
that?
Arnett,
I've never heard it, but people are raving about it.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're so funny. That's what I was going to say before is like I would date Will Arnett's voice.
Really?
Yeah. But he's actually cute. He's a cutie.
He was engaged to my wife before I was.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Holy.
He wasn't famous yet.
Wow, she must have really loved him.
He must have really been her soulmate.
Yeah.
I bet
she
she
probably
still
crushed
thinks of
him. Oh, he's probably crushed. Are you kidding me? Wow. That's wild.
Yeah. Glad it didn't work out.
I know. Maybe I'll get up in there and ask him.
I'm going to have her put you in touch
Yeah,
with him.
have her put me in touch with Will Arnett.
Is he single now?
I have no idea. Ask her. Does she still talk to him late at night when you're gone on the road and she's lonely?
If I were to lose her to somebody, that wouldn't be bad, because then at least it's like, you know, if I lose her to a guy who's like Dennis Gubbins, that's embarrassing.
You can't get over that
Yeah.
shit. You were just trying to hook me up with him.
Yeah, I know.
You were just trying. Now you're shit talking him.
Kind of. Well, I feel like we have redefined Dennis Gubbins' place in the dating world.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was your rat. I thought he was a rat.
No,
for you.
he's thick.
Yeah.
But
He's
no.
a redheaded asshole who's thick.
No.
He's a rat.
Rich and thick.
Oh,
Single.
Oh.
That's what rats is. Rich and thick single.
Okay.
So if anybody ever wants to come out and see me, you have to bring a rat with you.
Is that your thing? Did you make that up?
I just started making that up.
Okay.
Yes. I made it up.
Jesus.
Yeah, because I was saying thicks. I want thicks. I want them thickly.
Yeah.
And I said it, and do you know Tyler Labine? He's an actor.
No.
He's so talented. He's one of my friends, and he asked a question on my podcast. It was funny. I was like, oh, I'll answer his question. And he says, how thick do they have to be? And so I went on this rant about how thick I like guys to be. And I mentioned, like, I don't know, The Mountain and Balboa, Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista. And then Dave actually, so I posted the clip because it was just so, I literally went on a rant and it was so funny. And then Dave Bautista actually commented on the video.
Wait, who's Dave Bautista?
He's Drax, big, huge actor. He's in Army of the Dead. He's like this, he's wrestler.
Yeah.
Oh, you know Dave Bautista. Are you kidding me? He's thick. Oh, he's a thick daddy.
Really?
Yes. And so like you just have to start talking about it, and you can will things into your life. It's about manifestation. Do you do manifesting at all?
No, I need to manifest.
You have to manifest.
Yeah.
What
about John Cena? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
He's tatted up.
Oh my
too.
God. Look, he's an animal.
His abs go right into his chest.
Yeah.
They go all the way up.
Yeah, his abs go all the way up. He's huge. Yeah, see, if you build it, they will come.
That's not intimidating to think that guy would be on top of you?
No.
That would be...
No, I can handle it.
God.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for women because you're not small. You're like 5'6".
Yeah, right on the nose.
But I think about girls that are like 5'2" and then dating a big guy. I always think, are you scared?
It's like The Mountain. Do you know The Mountain? I talked about this with Rogan.
Yeah,
the Mountain's wife.
course.
Have you ever seen his?
No.
The difference in size is ridiculous. She is the teeny. Look at.
Oh shit!
Look how big he is. She's.
Oh my God!
Can you even imagine?
I cannot.
There's no way that there.
Whoa.
There's no way. Like,
and I don't just mean sexually. Obviously, the size of his penis relative to the size of her body is insane. But also, just the idea of like that. If he got mad enough, he could throw you across the room.
yeah.
That's the only reason I never had a gay affair is I didn't want to have sex with somebody who could beat me up afterwards.
That's funny. Do you say that on stage?
No, I should.
It's really funny because you look like you could. You look like you might be open. Are you open?
I was open.
Were you?
When I was younger, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
Well, I kind of regret that I never acted. I got real close to acting on it, but I never did.
Aw.
And I regret it, but...
There's still time.
I don't know if there is time.
Well, you and your wife might have like a little, a dry spell.
Three-way?
Oh, or that. Did you hear what I said?
What did you say?
I said a dry spell. And you said a three-way. Oh my God. That is hilarious. No, but you could. You can't ever rule anything out.
That would be weird is if I said, like, hey, let's have a three-way, and she just assumed I was going to bring a woman home, and I brought a guy home, and then I just fucked her right in front of her. And she's
Christmas.
like, do I get in on this? You going to tag me in at some point?
I've never done a threesome, and it just seems like too many mouths to feed.
It is a lot. Yeah.
Have you done them?
Yeah.
It's right. It seems stressful.
It's a lot of machinations. There's a lot of strategizing. There's a lot of like, I'm too codependent. You can't be codependent and have a three-way. No. You can't be worried about the other person's feelings.
Yeah, no, you really you definitely, you have to make sure that everyone's being satiated. And I don't know that I have that. I had this conversation with my girlfriend, and I wonder how you feel, because you're a mature man.
Yeah. We
We were saying 7 minutes of sex is plenty.
Including foreplay?
Yeah. I mean,
you're not even into foreplay anymore.
love foreplay.
Oh, okay.
I am all for foreplay.
Yeah.
Find me a motherfucker that knows what it means.
Yeah.
There's a certain type of guy who just understands what that means, but I don't not that I love sex, I just like how long sometimes it goes. It's like,
Yeah.
why are we still here?
Uh-huh.
I want a fucking snack.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this to be over.
But can you orgasm in 7 minutes?
I mean, yeah. If I'm buttered up right, sure.
Yeah, right.
Sure. I mean, I want both parties to have fun.
Yeah.
I definitely think that's, I don't care what anyone says, having an orgasm is most of the fun of having sex.
Yeah. But I think the emphasis is on it even more for men than it is for women. I think women can enjoy the act of sex without the orgasm.
Yes.
And I know I'm putting words in your mouth.
No,
'cause you're the
I would
woman
agree.
here.
I would see just physiologically how that sort of pans out. I think you're right.
I think men are so success oriented that not ringing the bell means it was a failure.
Yeah. And we don't need the comments. There's a way to communicate. I was with this one guy who had a hard time getting off because he was on medication
Oh.
and painkillers.
Yeah.
And he had a hard time. And that's I'm sorry. I'm going to try as hard as I can. But at some point, there's nothing that can be done.
Right.
And starting a forest fire in my crotch isn't going to help us.
Yeah, right, exactly.
When my lips start to invert, I'm done. Do you know exactly what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like drilling for oil and it's just fucking sand is coming up.
Yeah. We're showing teeth. We got to stop. And that's where, it's enough of those. You're all right, 7 minutes is.
Yeah.
I think if they give themselves limitations in certain areas, like limitations with spending, you can make more money.
Right.
And limitations with even something as much as sex, maybe you could have more success with it because you only have a certain amount of time to get it right.
I could see that. It's almost like the way of working out now is interval training, intense bursts.
It's 25
training.
minutes.
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah.
And it's time-wise, it works out better.
That's your whole workout, 25 minutes?
It'd be 25, sometimes an hour if I'm on my phone, but I try to not be on my phone because it's such a distraction. I try to just focus and work out. But
Where do you work out?
I've been working out at home for the whole quarantine.
No shit.
Now the gyms are open, I'm going back to the gym.
What gym do you go to?
A place in Venice, and actually a place in Playa Vista.
Oh, I know where you go.
Do
Look
you?
at you, fancy.
It's not fancy. It's on.
Jefferson?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good place.
Yeah.
It's 2 stories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the gym.
I go to Gold's, as you can tell from my body.
No, you're fit.
But I mean, Gold is usually fucking big muscle heads.
Yeah,
Everybody there
but-
is juicing except for me.
I might need to go.
You
then.
should go
I should
there.
Probably go to Gold's. The
Lot
one in
of thick
Venice.
guys. Yeah, it's the
With all
original
the
Gold's
tents?
gym. Yeah, it's all, and it's outdoor. You can work out. You can get on an elliptical out in the sun.
Really?
Yeah, you
I thought
lift.
those were just boot camps out there.
Nope. Regular cardiovascular equipment, free weights. You
ever see Brad Pitt there?
machines. Does he go there?
I know. I'm just asking.
I've seen Arnold there, and I've seen celebrities there.
You talk about somebody with an energy. Arnold is one of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
He walked into R&D Kitchen on Montana Ave in Santa Monica, which is a fucking delicious restaurant.
Yeah?
Have you been to R&D?
No.
Woo! Get that pulled pork sandwich. Thank me later. So good. I don't eat pork anymore, but if you do, it's delicious. But Arnold walked in, And you could just, the energy in the restaurant changed. It shifted. You could feel people.
When he was in Golds, no one could work out. It was just
he's so magnificent.
Yeah,
he's a stunning man.
Right.
And he's a vegan now.
Is he?
Yeah.
His body changed. He's definitely way slimmed down.
Yeah. And I think that part of that obviously is due to the change in his diet. But you know what I love most about Arnold Schwarzenegger? Is he has mini pets. He has mini horses.
Oh.
And he rides around on a bike in his backyard and has his horses chase him.
Oh.
And if you tell me that he doesn't smoke weed, I won't believe you.
Oh, I know.
That man's out on a bike in his backyard with horses chasing him.
Yeah.
He's on edibles.
That's what I dream of when I'm fucking tripping. Yeah.
Right? Like, I've dreamed of that life since I was 8.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be on a bike with horses.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Sounds so fucking awesome.
There should be a farm or a camp. There should be a camp for tripping where you go there. And because Oregon now has decriminalized mushrooms, so you set up you take over there's got to be an abandoned summer camp somewhere. You take it over,
an old cult.
You get little horses,
teeny ones.
You get kites. You get
bubbles.
Arts and crafts room, bubbles. You
little
get
pools, like cool, like those little plastic pools you used to fill water in when you were a kid. Sprinklers.
How about the sculptor wheel that spins?
Oh,
and you,
let's have a ghost moment.
Yeah.
He's dead. I miss him. Let's make pottery.
Yeah.
That's a really great idea.
And you stay there for 3 or 4 days and you have guides take you through your trip.
Let's buy property and make it.
Do you want to do it?
I would. I think it's a fucking genius idea.
Every time I say a good idea on this show, I swear to God, I had this idea that I said on this show. And then this guy starts emailing me about hey, so we already started working on the idea. And I'm like, yeah, me and my son have already talked to so-and-so. And so, just took my idea.
What was it?
I'm not even going to say it.
Will you tell me off air?
Yeah.
That guy owes you money.
It's like, I don't know why sometimes I'll even say script ideas on the air because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you can't.
No.
I said something on it's hard because we're just talking, having a good time and feeling open, and you're susceptible because of that. But I said some idea and somebody bought the website.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I went to look into it and the website was gone. I was like, fuck, this is what I get for mentioning it on a podcast.
Yeah.
It happens, there's
comedy shows at the camp while you're tripping.
Oh,
but you get the right kind of comedians.
You gotta get a Gallagher guy. You gotta get someone up there smashing.
Physical, smashing, interactive, somebody who does some, I don't know, do you want crowd work if you're tripping?
No, you don't want anyone to talk to you.
No,
you almost need a magician with a light show.
Yeah.
It really could just be a guy with a flashlight and some shapes.
Right.
It could really just be hand puppets.
Cut down on the budget, right?
Cut down.
Yeah.
Why we look, we don't have time. We don't have money.
Here's 50
for
bucks.
Hotel and travel. We're not gonna give you a travel buyout. Sorry. We've got $50 and we were gonna pay $50 worth of shrooms.
No, and a rave every night.
Oh,
a tent with a rave.
I'm telling you, that's a really great idea. I think it's a really, really great idea. I think you might need to cut this part out.
Sell Plan Bs because everyone's hooking up.
Oh, yeah. You need Plan Bs. You need good snacks. There's got to be maybe a couple food trucks.
Popcorn machines.
Candy. What do they call that?
Apples.
Candy apples and cotton candy.
Yes.
The whipping that around.
Yeah.
You know what we just described?
What?
A New York State Fair.
I've been to the one in Syracuse.
Oh shit! It's a great New York State Fair.
I remember being on a. They had a thing that
Take your time.
What do you call those things you sit in and they take
a chair?
Yeah, chairlift.
Oh, the thing across the fair.
They had a chairlift across the fair.
Yeah, I've done everything there. I grew up. That's what I did in my summers. I go to the fair every single day.
It's the greatest state fair in the country.
It's the great New York State Fair, tri-state area, baby.
Yeah.
It's the only fair like it I think in this country.
Maybe. I think there's one in Wisconsin that's supposed to be pretty amazing
We'll
too.
see. We'll see about it.
New York's got to beat it because New York's got the edge.
We got a butter sculpture, bro.
Get a what?
Butter sculpture, and it's huge.
Really?
Have you ever seen a lady carve an elk out of butter?
No.
Dubious.
What if it gets hot out?
Well, then it's going to be gone. Joe Rogan will shoot it with his bow and arrow. What if it gets hot out. It's in a refrigeration building.
Oh, it is. Oh.
They did ice sculptures? What if it fucking melts?
Dude,
How do they keep the butter hard? How can you know history and not know that butter is in a refrigerator?
I want to go to that again. I want to perform at the New York State Fair. I bet
There's a coal muffler court you could perform at.
You have to be super clean. Oh wait, hold on. I was gonna give out your tour date.
Are we not plugged in? Oh my God, did any of this record?
No, my computer died though, and I had all your tour dates.
I don't even know
down.
my tour dates.
Yes, of course we're gonna say your tour dates.
I don't know mine.
I know them.
You do?
They're written right here.
Okay, that's kind.
All right, listen. Wait, there's something else I wanted to ask you. Hold
Tell me.
on. How would you do in prison?
Is this maximum security?
Maximum security.
All woman?
All woman.
Oof. What's my sentence?
Something respectable, like drug dealing. You're not in there for like tax evasion, but you're also not in there for like, murder. But you're in there for a legit crime.
How long do you think I'm in there?
3 to 5 years.
Do I get access to dogs?
No, why would you get access to
Well, because
dogs?
sometimes they have that like pit bulls and parolees program.
No, you're not eligible for that.
That's rude. I would find a way. I think I don't know that I would fare well, but I do think I would make many friends. And I think I would avoid getting fucked against my will.
Yeah.
And I think I'd come out of there with a really sweet hour.
You would have an amazing hour.
I think I'd come out of there with a really sweet hour.
But when you say you'd avoid getting fucked, how?
With my charm. I think I would.
Would you be like that girl in high school that was making people laugh in between the basketball games?
Yeah. I think I would really resort back to high school days.
Yeah.
Because I was friends with everybody.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't like the girl who had like.
You were friends with the one black girl in Syracuse?
Right. Like I had there was actually a lot in our high school. We went to inner city school, Henniger, and we had a lot. It was very mixed, which was just amazing for being at that age and having exposure to all different cultures.
Yeah.
It was definitely like a lot of different cultures where I grew up, especially on the north side of Syracuse. So I was exposed to a lot of different people early on. And I think that's what made the transition to New York City so easy for me.
Right.
But I think I would have I didn't really have like best friends. I didn't have like one girl that I latched onto.
Yeah.
I just kind of moved around between.
So you got invited to all the parties?
Yeah. I hung out with the nerds and hung out with like the cool black chicks and the jocks, and I found a way to connect with everyone. Yeah. And I think like that would probably be useful in jail. The one thing that would really suck, because I can go on like a dick hiatus. Yeah. I've done that before. I've been abstinent for over a year. No problem. But I'm a foodie. Oh. And they feed you like Fire Island. Yeah. Fry Island. Was that place? The greatest party in the world that never happened? Fire. Oh, yeah. Fry Island. Yeah. Like that's what you would be eating. It'd be like a shitty government cheese white bread sandwich. And the one thing that would suffer more than me would be my bowels. Yeah. My gut, my Sicilian gut. Right. I got agita.
You need red wine in there. You need garlic in there.
I need a nice Niro d'Avola. I need like a nice garlic. I need some fresh produce. Mm-hmm. I'm a real picky bitch when it comes to food, so that's where I'd be out.
You need prison like with Goodfellas, where they were inside and they were slicing the garlic and they were frying up.
I need Felicity Hoffman. Who was that?
Yeah, Felicity Huffman.
I need that prison.
Yeah. Okay.
And who is she? William H. Macy prison.
All right. You've been doing stand-up how many years now?
This is my 20th year.
What's the hackiest bit you've ever done?
Probably the first 5 minutes I've ever done. I'm trying to remember. I used to tell this joke to people when they asked when I told them I was a comedian, and they would ask or tell me to say something funny. Yeah. And I would say, it's so stupid. I would say, what is a prostitute's downtime called?
What?
Off the cock. So bad. But I didn't really mean it as like a joke. I just would say it to get them off my back.
Exactly. Give them a bad
just
fucking
go
joke.
away from me.
I used to have a joke like that when people would ask me. Oh, it was actually a Jonathan Katz joke, but he kind of did it tongue in cheek also, which was, what did one hot dog say to the other hot dog?
What?
Hello, Frank.
Oh, I don't like that.
It was cute.
That's cute.
It was cute, and they would leave me alone because they didn't want another one like that.
Yeah, they don't want. They're like, okay, you should stay in your day job.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, all my jokes were hacky. I think they just stopped being hacky right before my dad died.
Yeah.
I think I didn't really, not that I didn't struggle, but probably something about airplanes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Nothing wrong with a good airplane joke.
Oh
if it's a good joke,
I don't
there's no
think
topics that are off the table. If you want to do jokes, like I remember when I first...
I agree.
When I first had a kid, I remember, I'm not going to say the comic's name, but I was in New York and he's like, and I was on stage and I was talking about baby stuff. Like Mulaney just did on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
He was doing
I haven't watched that yet, but I want to watch it.
Fucking great jokes about his baby.
Yeah,
And this guy goes, oh, so now you're going to be, you're just going to be a guy who talks about his kid? And I was like, no, what I'm going to be is a great comic who talks about what's happening in his life. Unlike you fucking hack who never talks about anything relevant to anything.
That's the thing. It has to be relevant to your life or to something.
Right.
And for so many years, my stand-up was relevant to nothing. Because I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
I was up there flailing, but I loved it. And, now it's relevant to heavy subjects like rape and death and, healing and all of that. But I definitely was so hacky for so many years.
Yeah.
Just brutal. Looking back, you ever look at videos of yourself?
I have audio of the first time I ever went on stage, and I refuse to play it for anybody.
I do too. You should send me yours, and I'll send you mine.
All right. We'll do that. You'll come over to the house for dinner.
I would love to.
Come over to the house for dinner. We're going to have you and Annie Letterman.
Grill your
do you get
wife.
along with Annie?
I do.
All right. She's a Venice girl also.
Is she in Venice?
Yes.
Where? Oh, I would say where.
Over by Penmar.
What?
Yep.
Maybe she did tell me this, but it was around the time my mom died, and I just was oblivious. I'm gonna grill your wife about Will Arnett.
She might not like that I brought it up.
Well, it's your fault. It's your marriage, and you're gonna have to pave that over.
Yeah.
That's all
that
your
might
fault.
Have been a mistake.
Well, you might need to cut it out.
I never cut anything out of the podcast.
I love that.
Never.
I love that. Neither do I, except if it sounds terrible, like the sound is bad.
Here's what's going to sound good.
Tell me.
Listening to Sharp Tongue, your podcast, listening to Hilarious, which is your other podcast.
Yeah, there's one season of that.
Or watching Tattoo Redo on Netflix, which came out about a year ago. Any news on a second season?
I don't know about that, but we're doing another type of show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On Netflix?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Good for you.
Yes. This is going to be so fun.
You're a TV star.
Oh my God. If only my parents were alive to see me now.
Oh.
It's all good. It's all right. Their ghosts are watching from someplace.
Yes, they are. They're very proud of you. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be performing in Atlantic City on April 9th.
I am?
Zany's in Nashville, April 10th.
I am?
What?
Yeah, no, you're right. I forgot where
Bell
I was.
House in Brooklyn on April 16th. And by the way, a lot of these dates are a podcast taping as well as a stand-up show.
Yeah, so make sure you check that out.
Cisco's,
and I'm in Kansas City Improv. I forgot to add it to my list. What's the holiday coming up? St. Patrick's Day weekend, Kansas City Improv.
Okay. Nice. And then you'll also be in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Bozeman, Montana, Missoula, Montana, Burlington, Vermont, Poughkeepsie, Chicago, Austin. All dates available at Jessimae Peluso, which is spelled Jessimae Peluso, Peluso. And there's a lot of great stuff to see on there, videos and links to the podcast.
You're amazing.
And such.
Yeah, it's jessimae.com.
Yeah.
Come see me. I can't wait to go to Montana. I bet I can find a Rats there.
Oh, you're going to have fun there.
I'll have a Yellowstone daddy there. Get me a Rip Wheeler. No.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
You're going to love it.
I want a Rip Wheeler.
You're going to get a Rick Wheeler. You're going to get a Zach Galifianakis type.
No. We need to go away from like the pudgy and have the weight be more centered in the shoulders.
Like a Nick Offerman?
Oh, yeah. He's a zaddy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna find it.
That's a good vibe.
Well, the first time we did my podcast was we did it through Zoom.
That's right.
And it was exactly 1 year ago. It came out like within 2 days.
Really?
Of a year ago. It doesn't seem like it was longer.
Yeah, it does feel like a really long time.
We were supposed to do it in January. I came to Syracuse when you were still in
That's
Syracuse.
right. And the whole house was sick.
Everybody got the vid.
I was like, I just felt like I didn't want to give anybody anything. Everyone got the vid. I avoided it. I got something else. but I never got the vid.
Wow.
I got some other amoeba floating around.
Well, I got to tell you, I did not have fun in Syracuse. It was 9 degrees.
Oh, yeah, it's a tough time.
Oh.
It's, you know, they're great crowds.
It was a Marriott, but it was drafty. It was so cold that the cold was just coming right through the glass.
Oh, that's brutal.
Oh, and I didn't
like
leave
the Marriott
hotel.
should have some insulation.
I know.
Though. Those are bad windows.
It was not a good Marriott.
Change your windows.
It's the worst Marriott I've ever stayed in.
Oh, that's brutal because you're already on the road. The accommodations, especially for me as a chick, I have high standards when it comes to that.
Have you ever checked out of a hotel because it wasn't up to your standards?
Yep, and I've had like where they bring you to the comedy condo, which is just code for Seaman Hotel.
Yes.
And I've literally been driven up and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
The answer is no. It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
There's no part of me getting out of this car and into whatever the fuck that fuck shack is.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to Red Roof Inn than stay in that Seaman station.
It's got cigar smoke.
Oh, and
jizz.
it smells like Bert Kreischer's nuts. I'm not going there. I bet his nuts smell nice now though.
Yeah, they're probably groomed now. He's got man groomer.
Yeah, he's got money now.
Yeah.
Those are pre-tour bus nuts.
Yeah. Old Bert nuts. Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the neighborhood soon.
That's so fucking wild. I would love to come over.
Okay.
You can have the photo of your wife back.
Beach
I'll stop
volleyball
gawking at
on
it.
Sundays.
Yes, dinner.
Dinner.
I would love that.
Annie Letterman.
Yeah, Annie can be my boyfriend.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.